Okay, you're at the Watchmen Way. 2/5/20. President was acquitted today. Surprise, surprise. What'd I tell you? It's a waste of time. It's a joke, a distraction. Um, it's getting ridiculous, guys. Now they're trying to trump up something else now. No pun intended. And it's never going to end until he drops a hammer. So I don't think he can let it go too much longer. Especially the way they're responding, it's just making a mockery of our political system. It's ridiculous. I mean, it shouldn't be allowed to happen. So I think, who knows? Over the weekend, maybe. The one thing we all want to be looking for, and I know we have members all across the country. Troop movements. I would expect to see last minute troop movements right before they did this, because I think what they're going to do is either right before they arrest the top dogs, Clinton, Obama, or right after. I think they'll declare martial law and have Marines and National Guard on the streets. So if an indication is going to be troop movements, most likely on the road, possibly some on rail, but I doubt it. I think they're probably already positioned so they're driving distance. So just keep your eyes open. Anybody sees any type of troop movement anywhere, please report it. To either the forum or come on the live chat and let us know what you found. We just have to keep doing what we're doing, guys. We're kind of we're in that zone now where this really could go down, and between now and the beginning of summer, what's that? By June 1st, give or take, maybe the middle of June, it's got to go down, because they can't start it after that. If it goes into August, September, it's too close to the election. And I just don't think they're going to do that. They don't need to do that. They've got all the evidence they need. I think they've got all the threats neutralized, or the major threats neutralized. Remember, guys, we're still going to have the things we got to be looking out for. We got to be looking out for the sleeper cells, the terror cells from the Muslim training camps that Fast and Furious was arming. There might be thousands of these guys around the country. Little groups, maybe 2 to 5 guys. That's what they're going to unleash, I think. And I think they're going to do it. If they want the impact, they'll do it, a bunch of them at the same time, right? In 4, 5, 6 different cities. And maybe a couple in each city, right? We have to be on our toes. I'm 95% sure this is coming. So if you can conceal carry. If not, keep one in your car if you can, in the trunk, whatever. However it's legal to do it in your state. That's another thing. The Second Amendment crap is done by President Trump's second term. I think he's going to allow nationwide concealed carry. I think he's just going to write an executive order in his second term just to get rid of this crap. So it's off they can't mess with it anymore. It's unconstitutional. Shouldn't be happening. And the same thing with the censorship. All of these, anything you can point to right now that's a violation of our Constitution will be fixed, I believe, by the end of President Trump's second term. He's got, bigger fish to fry right now. I mean, you can understand. You gotta take these issues in order of importance. And obviously, getting the swamp drained, getting the economy cleaned up, those are high priorities. And the other stuff we can wait on, because it's like what happened in Virginia. I told you guys it was never going to happen. He even came out, made a statement, exactly what I said he would, that he would write an executive order if he had to nullify anything these clowns did. They've got no power. The only thing that gives them power is the CIA, who's controlling the media, telling the media to cover that garbage. Once the media is captured in this, and I think it's going to happen when he declares martial law, he'll seize the mainstream media as part of that executive order, because he can't have these guys spewing propaganda. He'll have guys, giving direct, straight to the point what the facts are. That's what'll take over for a while until we sorry about that. Get everything else figured out. What else? What else is going on today? We've had we've lost a few members, like I knew we would. I would just encourage any Christian or Catholic to hang in there, and I'm telling you, the ones that leave are going to be back within 3 months. Because once everything I'm talking about, the truth is going to come out. The truth is going to come out about the way. The truth is going to come out about the Bible, about the manipulation they've used on us for thousands of years now. It's all going to come out. Everything. 9/11. The true story behind 9/11 is going to come out. Yeah, it was an inside job. The JFK assassination, yes, another inside job. Bush Sr. planned that assassination. It's all going to come out. It's going to rock the world when this stuff comes out. It is wide-ranging. It's unbelievable, the things that they manipulated, that changed for whatever reason. They didn't want us to know about our history, where we came from. It's not what they say. I believe Earth was seeded by other planets, engineered, basically. I think that there were multiple races, humanoid races, ranging from, maybe 3 feet tall to 30 to 50 feet tall. They've got skeletons, humanoid skeletons, 30 to 50 feet tall. It's at the Smithsonian. And not just one or two. I think that's in the hundreds. They've been snatching that stuff up and hiding it away for several hundred years now. The point I'm trying to make is keep an open mind about everything I'm saying. Listen, here's the facts, and I defy you to prove me wrong. This is history. These are the historical facts. The Bible that we use today was assembled by Emperor Constantine in 330 AD. Up until 330 AD, there were hundreds of books that were kind of just passed around willy-nilly, however you could get them. There was no printing press back then. Everything had to be hand-scribed. It was tedious. Then there were very few people that could write. So, in 330 AD, sensing an opportunity, I believe, listen, Emperor Constantine, guys, he's an elite. He would be a globalist today. He'd be a satanic pedophile today. Is it any surprise that the Bible would be altered by someone like that? This guy wasn't a pope. He wasn't a bishop. I think he named himself pope, or had him name himself named pope a few years after this, but he wasn't a religious man when he had this Bible put together. And we know, based on what they've done today with the internet, with social media, Twitter, Facebook, they were all developed to control us. You think the Bible was any different? Now listen, God kept enough of the truth in the Bible so that we were here when it mattered, right now, today. The same as he did. Look what he did with social media and the internet. They were going to use them to get all this information on us so they could control us. Well, we turned it back against him. I wouldn't have a fraction of the knowledge I have today if it wasn't for the internet. And now I'm using social media to tear them down. And there's hundreds of guys like me doing the same thing. I believe the same thing happened with the Bible, guys. And I think that the facts, based on what we know, you'd be crazy not to consider it. Right? Basically, what they did was they took the history book of the Jewish religion and the early Catholic religion, and they assembled the New and the Old Testament. And that's what we have today. Basically, there were, I think, at least 6 or 8 books that were removed about 600 years ago. So we don't even really have the whole Bible that was originally put together. And it was because I think that there were the things that there were in there, they weren't liking the results that it was having out in the field, right? With the peons, with the peasants. So they had to take them out because something was going on there they didn't like. Really? People who think that the word of the Bible is the absolute 100% truth aren't using their critical thinking skills. I believe that the Bible is touched by God, but I also believe that evil men manipulated it to control us. If that makes me evil, a false prophet, okay, whatever. But this is coming from God. This isn't coming from me. God's the one that's not happy. God's the one that's not happy about how we use the Bible. God's the one that's not happy about church. So, blame who you want. You can blame me if you want. I don't care. But anybody who leaves, I guarantee, will be back eventually. Because they're going to find out what I'm saying is the truth. I don't make this stuff up, guys. I mean, I don't, and trust me, this was one I did not want to tackle because I knew, especially with the Christians, and even with some Catholics, when you start talking about the Bible, you're going to go to battle. That's fine. That's what I'm here for. But I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to back down from what God asked me to do. I'm not going to back down from a challenge. This is the truth as God showed it to me, and I believe it to be. I'm telling you, this year, I think the truth is going to come out. It might be the next 2 years, depending, because there's, like I say, there's a lot of big stuff we got to get out of the way. We've got to get the swamp drained. We've got to get rid of these pedophiles. We've got to get this economy straightened out. This kind of stuff's probably going to come after the recovery, or after we're into the recovery, when everybody can refocus once we get through the rough patch. And I don't, here's the reality. We have to be prepared for the worst case scenario, which I do not believe is going to happen. The worst case scenario, when this all goes down, however it goes down, whether the swamp first, then the economy, or whatever, when it goes down, worst case scenario, the banks are closed, the grocery stores are out of food, and the power is off. That's worst case scenario. I don't think we're going to see worst case scenario. I don't think the power is going to go down. I mean, it might limited, there might be, but it's not going to go down for like weeks at a time. I think that President Trump's going to keep the grocery stores pretty well stocked. If he does those two things, if he keeps the power on, that means the water's running, and he keeps food in the stores, we'll get through this fine. Again, there's some people that may struggle, may not eat every day. If you're not prepared, you don't have extra food and water. But for the most part, I think, everybody gets through this pretty clean. There's always a chance, just like driving in any city today, you get caught in a bad spot, in a crossfire, or, the middle of some rioting or looting. Who knows? But for the most part, if you've got everything you need, and you can hunker down at home or your bug out location, I think we're going to get through this fine. I think President Trump's on it. Now, around the world, I think it's going to be a different story. I think actually millions around the world could die when this goes down, depending on what countries they live in. Because in globalist countries, the leadership has they just as soon see millions die. That's what they want anyway. Look at Agenda 2030. This would fit right into their game plan. This is what they want. So globalist countries aren't going to fare as well, I don't think. I think we're in pretty good shape. But we still have to be ready for it. And we still have to get as many people as we can prepared for it. I'm just reading a comment here. I'll come back. Anyway. So, I believe it's not going to be worst case. I believe we're going to get this fairly clean. That does not mean that you don't prepare. You got to have your extra food, water, medical supplies, physical, silver, and Litecoin. Don't procrastinate. Don't miss the boat here. Think about this scenario where you took a gamble because I said I didn't think anything was gonna, wasn't gonna get out of hand. It wasn't gonna go worst case scenario. But in your area, there's something out of the ordinary that happens that makes it worse. That could happen. Those kind of scenarios could happen, guys. So you got to be ready. You got to be ready for worst case scenario. And it's not that big of a deal. The gold and the silver, that's going to go up no matter what happens through the recovery or the collapse. The food you can eat or give it away to a homeless shelter, whatever. And ammo, target practice. There's your next 10 years of target practice. It's all good. You maybe use your guns a little bit more. Nothing wrong with that. So I want to keep um, reminding you guys that this is the greatest time in the world to be alive. I wouldn't trade places with anyone at any other time. I want to be here right now. And that's why I'm here. I really honestly believe that. I mean, I believe this was my destiny. You know, I always said I thought I should have been born 150, 200 years earlier. Well, now, now I'm thinking, shit, God was dead on. This was exactly where I should have been. It fit like a glove, you know, with my history, my childhood, with rodeo and my business background and my criminal justice experience. It just all fit perfectly with what he wanted me to do. And the mindset, because this has not been an easy job, and you have to be pretty hard-headed, I think, to get it done. So it was, again, God at work, you know, and pretty amazing stuff. And then there's this whole journey. And I know you guys, I've talked to many of you guys who've had the same thing happen. You know, the chance meeting that turned into much more. You know, a Facebook friend that, again, went outside the bounds of what you'd have expected. This is all, anybody that's here, God wanted you here. There's a reason you're here. You're here to hear this message. You're here to spread this word. You're here to lay down the foundation of the revival of God's church, which is the church that Jesus spoke about 2,000 years ago, the church that Jesus lived 2,000 years ago, the way. This whole thing, guys, the way it, I mean, listen, you can't, you couldn't make this script up. This story, just the story of the Watchmen. Just the story of the Watchmen. Think about it. It doesn't make any sense. You know? Again, talk to my friends from even 10 years ago. They say there's no way in hell that I would commit my life to something like this. You just can't explain it. You know, it's magical. It's mystifying. It's awesome. And we all need to celebrate what's happening here. There should be no fear here, guys. We should be celebrating this because we're headed into the greatest transfer of wealth in human history with the foreknowledge to make all of us wealthy beyond our wildest dreams. That all of this came together like this. You know, just think about everything that's going to happen. The swamp going down, the pedophiles being destroyed, the economy tanking, and then a whole new system, gold-backed currencies around the world. My God, they're going to make 100 movies about this. This 10 years, just this 10 years. Hundreds of movies, thousands of books. I'm telling you, anybody involved in this, they'll be, you know, when you're 100 years old, they'll be asking you to talk about this stuff. Because it's such a critical time in our history. This was it. This was Armageddon. We're in it right now. Good against evil. Who's going to run the world? And we are. That's the whole point of the physical silver and Litecoin. We saw the world we got when evil controlled the power and the money. God wants a different scenario this time. That's why he's forewarning us. That's why he's giving us these gifts. Because He wants us to control the new world, and he wants us to build the foundation of his new church. Imagine 90% of the evil in the world being eliminated at the same time the greatest religion ever created is revived. 20 years, God's telling me it'll be the biggest church in the world in 20 years. By 2040. It should be huge. Think about it. No priest, no bishop, no pope, no buildings. The church is us. It's how we live our lives. It's telling the truth, doing the right thing, living your life in the service of others. You can't knock it. You can't show me a better religion. I'm still waiting. I've had this challenge out now for weeks, and I haven't had one person. I've had a lot of people criticize. I've had a lot of people take pot shots, but not one person has brought anything to me that can dispute anything I've been saying. Because you can't. It's the most pure religion on the face of the earth. There's no corruption. There's no manipulation. The money, it goes straight from my hands to the hands of the needy. It goes straight from your hands to the hands of the needy. Doesn't go to a priest, doesn't go to a pope. It goes to the people that need it with human contact. Them seeing that someone actually cares that they're here and wants to make sure that we make things better for them. That's our number one goal, guys, when we get into this, is eliminating homelessness and hunger in America. Should not exist here. Makes me ashamed that to drive around today. Should never have happened in this country. It's sickening. And it's going to end. And we're going to end it. You know, if you want to be a better person, if you want to live a better life, take the challenge. Take the way challenge. 1 week, live your life the way. Tell the truth. Do the right thing. Live your life in the service of others. Try it for a week, and I'll bet you're hooked. Because it's like no other church. You know, there's no 501c3. Doesn't take donations. This is all about doing the right thing. This is all about what God wanted the church to be. And that's the other thing, guys. Don't point at me. I'm not a preacher. I'm a messenger. I'm a watchman. I'm delivering a message. Our job as watchmen now, as we go through this process, through the warning, the prepping, the red pilling, we're also now talking about the way and the things we're going to do. And it's basically doing the same things we said we were going to be doing the last couple of years. Paying it forward. Now it's going to be in a more organized fashion with a name to it. The name that Jesus wanted. So it's not me. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Keep an open mind. Use your critical thinking skills. Use your discernment. These tricksters aren't done yet. They're going to try and pull more tricks. We have to be smarter than them. We have to think. When we see something that doesn't make sense, take a deep breath and think about it. Use your critical thinking skills. They're going to try something, I think, with CGI in the sky. Maybe God coming back. I'm not sure. Maybe an alien invasion. Critical thinking skills. Don't fall for it. Take the way challenge. I think it changed my life. It was the last piece to the puzzle for me, I think. I hope. Okay, guys. What do we got for questions? Danielle, how are you? David? Thanks, David. Tessie's happy that the president was acquitted. Tessie, what did I tell you like 3 weeks ago? That we would come to this day. A joke. Cynthia, how you doing? Jeannie, hello. Mark, Keith, Mike, Susan, Christine. Romeda. Oh, I gotta go back here. I'm calling out names I'm not reading. Maybe I can do this a little bit better. Oh, here we go. All right. Hang on. Oh boy. Now we're in trouble. Is that it? There we go. Technical difficulty. My fat fingers. Thank you, Danielle. Danielle says I'm a good dude. Thank you, Danielle. Jeannie, join the club. I was raised Catholic also. Yep. I just saw, I don't know, you guys may have seen today, it was on Facebook. I think it was at the Vatican. They were doing a satanic mass with the devil on the altar. You can't make this stuff up, guys. I'm telling you, the Catholic Church comes down this year. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I never thought I would see this day in my life. It's like they're self-destructing. Diane, hello. There's a lot of great stories in the Bible. Listen, guys, I've got no problem with the Bible. The Bible should be used as a book of comfort. But it's not a rule book. It was never intended to be that. It's basically a history of the Jewish people and the early Catholics. That's what the Bible is. You know, it's amazing. You know, you talk to some Christians, they think God actually wrote it out. Come on. It was not at all what happened with the Bible, and like I said, it's all going to come out. Um, here's a oh boy, what do I do now? God darn it. Okay. Let's see. Where am I here? Okay. Now, Rebecca is saying that the Bible we have now in our hands was put together perfectly and inspired by God using man to write it and put it together. You have to be filled by the Holy Spirit to understand it's God's inspired word. It is supernatural. Each book of the Bible perfectly agrees with one another. Tell us, Son of Jesus, the redemption of our sins. Well, here's the problem, Rebecca. The Bible, here's the facts. The Bible was assembled in 330 AD. 300 years after Christ lived, Jesus lived, they put together the Bible. From hundreds of books, they chose the ones that went in. And I shouldn't say they. Emperor Constantine assembled it. An elite an emperor, a man that would today be our mortal enemy. So that's the facts. We know what these people do. You can believe what you want. I believe the Bible was inspired by God and manipulated by man. And that's the book we have today. And God isn't happy with the Bible. Let me just lay that out for you. And you're going to know it to be the truth in hopefully my lifetime. I think within the next 10 years for sure. And we're going to know most of the rest of the church, or the truth, in the next year to two. Critical thinking skills, guys. It's funny that most everybody that wants to tell me about the Bible can't tell me where it came from. And you can't. So it's like the rapture. My God. We've established, this is a fact. I don't hear any arguments. The Bible was assembled in 330. AD. Jewish, Catholic. I was raised Catholic. The Catholics don't teach the rapture. The rapture does not exist. Some preacher in Great Britain in the 1830s decided that this obscure passage in the Bible described the rapture. What a load of crap. Use your heads. This didn't come Jesus or God inspired. It came from some crackpot. And almost every Christian in the world believes it. What a load of crap. Use your heads. Look at the history of what these people have done. It's the same ones. It's their M.O. Divide and conquer. Good example. Turn the other cheek or an eye for an eye. They're both in the Bible. Which one is it? And there are hundreds of them. You can make almost any argument using the Bible. God's not happy how we're making those arguments, a lot of us. God's not happy when we use the Bible to beat each other down with. That's not what the book was intended for. It's a book of comfort. It's not to use to abuse each other. And that's, unfortunately, the way I see it being used most of the time. There are going to be a lot of Christians in hell for the things that they've done in the name of the Bible because they didn't use their heads. Anything that goes against the way, anything that goes against treating people with respect, doing the right thing, telling the truth, living your life in the service of others is garbage. Quit being sheep. Use the intelligence God gave you. God doesn't want us to believe anything blindly, except that He exists. I'm in a take no prisoners mode, guys. I'm tired of the whining. I'm tired of the complaining. I'm tired of the people that got something to say that don't have a clue. I'm not taking any more crap. The people who want to be a part of the greatest thing to ever hit the world, welcome aboard. But if you want to be a negative influence here, I will block you in a heartbeat. I'm chopping and blocking. I'm not going to have anything get in the way of where we're headed. You know, you want to do the right thing. You want to live a better life. You want to be a better person. You're at the right place. You want to be a troll. You want to contradict what we're trying to do here. You're going to get freight trained. I'm not a preacher. I'm not the Pope. I'm a watchman. I'm a warrior. And I'm not taking any prisoners. And no one who's a watchman, who's got their head on straight, should have a problem with that. Because now is the time that we need to finish this. It's not a time to play patty cakes. It's not a time to sing Kumbaya. It's a time to kick some ass. It's a time to put these people where they belong, either in their graves or in prison for the rest of their lives. It's time to get our shit together, quit whining, quit crying about why we can't do the right thing. Make it happen. That's what God wants. God wants us to make this happen. I'm in. I welcome anyone with welcome arms that wants to be a part of this. But trolls will not be tolerated. And to me, a troll is anybody that won't listen to reason. You know, you're going to get one chance to have the wrong opinion. And then we're moving on without you. So get on board. This is how this train's going to roll. Okay. Listen, again, guys, I'm not disputing the value of the Bible. I'm just saying we got to use our heads the way we use it. Okay. All right. I think I got all the questions. Maybe. I don't know. Where am I here? Or at least oh, there we go. There we go. Now I'm working again. A lot of great stories in the Bible. A lot of great lessons in the Bible. Okay, guys. That looks like all the questions. I'm going to work and get my blood pressure down. You guys, don't let up. Keep pushing. Keep making those calls. Keep sending those emails. Keep sending those texts. Keep speaking out on social media. Days or weeks left. We have to finish strong. No reason to fear. It's all good, guys. If we didn't have to finish this thing, we would be partying in the streets right now. You know, but enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. Look around. Look what's happening around the world. Never thought I'd see it in my lifetime, guys. Man's greatest age. Heaven on earth. Headed our way. Let's be a part of this. Let's make this happen. Okay, guys, remember, fear not. God and President Trump are 1,000% in control. I'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.